We are most appreciative of Christina and Em. Thank you both. It's not as though we don't have some other things going on these days, so. For those committee members who just recently came on, Representative Nolan will be leading the discussion today. Senator Austin and Representative Walker are attending a funeral this morning. So we're just waiting for Representative Nolan to get his computer hooked up. And here he comes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So Representative Nolan, the fiscal note was compiled by Christina Gelman and Emily Shepard from OFA, and they are prepared to walk the subcommittee through the fiscal note.
All right. And just a reminder to everybody, we are live, and we are going to be listening to the expertise of the young ladies that are going to propose before us. So whichever one of you would like to start first, please go right ahead.
Good morning. I think I'll start off. This morning we have the Memorandum of Understanding between the PCA Workforce Council and the New England Healthcare Employees Union, 1199. And this is a unique situation in that this agreement does not involve state employees per se, just like the agreement that Chris Perla did on the CBAC. He was able to pull a lot of information from CORE to sort of do our own analysis. In this case, we were given a database, and that's what we had to work from because they're not state employees. Basically, the agreement results in a net. Well, sorry, it covers the remainder of this year and then really FY23. That's the period of the agreement. And
I'm sorry, Christina,
yeah.
can I just interrupt you for a moment because I saw Senator Austin come on. Senator, we just started. No, you didn't miss anything other than the opening. So I just wanted to share that with you. And Christine was starting to explain the topics of the day.
And Representative Walker is coming right on too. Both of us had to go to a funeral, so.
Yes. And I slipped and I seen Representative France somewhere. I didn't ask you, sir, if you wanted to make any comments. I'm sorry. Excuse me for that.
Thank you, Representative Nolan. I'm going to anxious to hear what the OFA has to present. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, Christina, please go right ahead.
Sure, yeah. So the data that we received showed that there were approximately 14,900 employee records. So that is the people impacted by this agreement. And the sort of the people that use PCAs or employ PCAs are consumers supported by programs in DSS through Medicaid and in DDS through the Community Residential Program and the Employment and Day Program and the Behavioral Services Program. And the FY22 net state impact is about $609,000. And then in 23, the net cost is 16.7 million. And then the annualized cost in 24 is about 10 million. And the reason for the increased cost in FY23 is that there's a one-time lump sum payment of 6% that will go out in FY23.
I'm sorry, that was how much of a lump sum payment?
Sorry, it's valued at 9.6 million.
Okay.
It's about 6%. Well, it is 6% of pay. And so the agreement provides for wage increases. And for PCAs, it's going to 1775, then to 1775 in July, and then 1825 on January 1st of 23 for the PCAs. And I outlined the different rates for respite and then independent living skills trainers.
Okay.
The next provision is the training and orientation fund. About 300,000 is provided this fiscal year, and then another 750 is provided at the beginning of, for FY23. And the agreement specifies that 150,000 of that amount has to be used for skills enhancement. And then another first-time feature in this particular agreement is premium assistance. And the agreement requires that employees receive an amount equal to 6% of their pay on a semi-annual basis, up to an annual maximum of $5,000 for healthcare premium assistance if they're not eligible for Husky or I think it was the Connecticut partnership plan. And that results in a payment of 15 million in 23 because, and that again is more in 23 because the 22 payment will be paid in 23. So they'll actually get 3 payments for the premium assistance in FY23. And then an additional new provision is paid time off. The agreement specifies that hourly and 12-hour per diem PCAs are going to be eligible to accrue paid time off at a rate of 0.025 hours per every hour worked, up to a 40-hour maximum per state fiscal year. And this is estimated to cost about $2 million in 23. As far as the funding availability for the agreement, funding wasn't specifically provided for in the biennial budget for this purpose. However, in 22, DSS has a net lapse of 227 million, and DDS has a lapse of 3.6 million. And then the committee budget appropriated $23 million for this purpose in the DSS Medicaid account. And I mean, the costs associated with the agreement are paid through DSS and DDS, so funding can be transferred through FAC, MOU, or other actions. The agreement does require a reopener starting, it says September of 22 to October. And oh, and I think I mentioned at the beginning that this covers about 14,900 PCAs. So I think that covers the various provisions. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer.
Thank you, Christina. And I also just saw Rep. Walker is now on also. Good morning, Rep. Walker. And I will pass it over to you and Senator Olson.
Oh, thank you, Representative Nolan. Apologize for us late. We lost a dear friend, and we went to a wake to give our regrets to the family. Okay, so are there any questions? Representative France, you're pondering.
Thank you. I just have one question related to the fiscal note side of this, not the policy, but was there any explanation under the training? I noticed it specifies that of the 750,000, 150,000 must be used for skills enhancement. Was there any discussion in the agreement of what the remaining annually 600,000 would be used for in the agreement?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually provide language in the agreement that describes it, but I know the PCA Council does provide training, so I'm sure that it supports the costs of the council related to that. Or I'm thinking that that's what it does.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from anybody? No questions. Very direct and to the point. Representative Harrison. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you. Am I to understand from this that they will now accrue some vacation time? And I think if I recall correctly, when we had some other public hearings that they indicated that they have no vacation time at this point. And no matter how many hours, if I read this correctly, they work during the year, the maximum they'll accrue is 40 hours. Through you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Christina? Or
that's how I read it too. Yes, that's the maximum that you can accrue in a year would be the 5 days.
And so am I correct that they're now at least accumulating some vacation time, and they went from none to approximately a week off?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Anybody else? Representative France for the second time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's one other question related to the lump sum payments, 6% of wages earned. Since that period is now passed, did OFA look at what the maximum, if they were full-time, what that amount of the lump sum payment would be, 6% of salary earned during that period of April 1st, 2021 and March 31st, 2022, or the range of what that bonus would look like for the employees?
Yes, I mean, we were really looking at the totals. We weren't looking particularly at the individual employee records, just to verify, that it was the 9.6 calculation.
So I guess then that begs the question, how did you come to your one-time cost of 9.6 million if you didn't look at, or how did you know the hours for the almost 15,000 employees to calculate that 6%? Was it
Oh, because we got data that provided the hours and the wages. So this is like, I totaled, we verified what they did. So it's like we saw that it was a sum of all the wages times the 6%.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning.
Morning.
Just following up on Representative Harrison's question, can the paid time off, can that be carried over each year?
I believe, yes, the agreement allows it to be carried to the next fiscal year.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And then just one other question. Did you say there's approximately 14,900 PCAs? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, that is based on the records that were the unique records that were in the data that we saw.
Thank you. Do you know approximately how many clients they serve?
I can speak to DDS, which is the
Okay.
agency I did. I do their budgets. Well, in DDS, there are approximately 1,500 people who self-direct their benefits through DDS. And they're the individuals that use PCAs through the DDS programs. And Emily can speak to the DSS program.
Okay.
I'll have to follow up because I don't have the number.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Senator Austin.
So Christina, to the fiscal note, you have 9.6 million, a couple million here and a couple million there. What is the total cost of the total package? Because we had put 23 million in the budget, but that only covers one of the pieces, right?
No, well, if you, Emily, do you want to put it up? Thank you. On the
Please,
screen?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make.
We're just going to share it with you so that we can just go direct you right to the spot.
Yep.
Perfect. It's where in 23, when you see appropriated account total, it's the 22 million.
Okay.
And you're right, we have the 23 in the budget. So we've already told Neil that
We can
yeah,
save
that we
$1 million. Thank you for telling him. We appreciate that. We might have something to do with that $1 million, but so the fiscal, the 22 is $712,000,
yes.
$1,000, and the state cost is 609. And the state cost is 16 million in 23.
Yes, the net impact.
So the $23 million is relative to the Medicaid side of things. Would that be the 16 million is the state cost? And go ahead, Emily.
Yeah, so this is the case where the Medicaid account is net appropriated. So
Yeah.
that's showing the state share of costs, but the community res, employment and day and behavioral services are gross appropriated. So we have to appropriate the full 22.1, but then we'll make an adjustment to federal grants revenue to reflect the Medicaid revenue that comes from the DDS expenditures. So the net impact to the state is the 16.8.
Emily, would you explain net appropriation versus gross appropriations?
Yeah. So Medicaid is a joint state federal program. And so the costs related to it are, you have to total up both of those costs of funding. The Medicaid account, when we say net appropriated, means that we are only appropriating the state share of expenditures. And gross appropriation means that it includes both state and federal share.
Okay, so with that definition, would you re-explain what you just said a few minutes ago?
Sure. So the state cost to the Medicaid account is the 11.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
And the community res, employment and day and behavioral services program includes both the state and federal share of those expenditures. So we need to make an adjustment under federal grants revenue to reflect the fact that we will in fact get federal revenue associated with Medicaid expenditures under community res, employment and day and behavioral services.
Okay, so if we appropriated 23 million in our budget, how much are we, we appropriated 23 million in the budget. What amount will impact us for 23, if at all?
Well, so the net impact to the state budget after you make the revenue adjustment is the 16.8.
Okay. Are there any questions on that explanation? Because I believe, are there any questions on that explanation? Okay, all right. Good.
I don't have any questions relative to that. Can I just ask one more question?
Sorry, yes. Mhm.
The reopeners, why is there a reopener in September 22 in October 22?
I don't know why it's so soon. It seems it's so soon, but it's during that period from September to October. They're supposed to reopen it.
That 30-day time frame.
Exactly. Yes.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure, that just seems so odd.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know, but that's it just says the parties agree to commence bargaining a successor agreement between September 1st, 22 and October 1st, absent mutual agreement to a different time period.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay, are there any other questions from the group? No more? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for starting because we were a little late. Sorry about that. And thank you for your explanation and coming soon.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Can we find out why that time period is so soon?
We could
And
ask.
they could get back to us maybe, just so
Yeah.
we have an understanding.
With whom would we ask that question, Emily or Christina?
I guess we could ask OPM. I think Claudio is part of the PCA Workforce Council, so he may know, but tomorrow, probably at the public hearing, definitely could ask.
And I guess the other question that I had is that, well, not question or statement, it was OPM that provided us with the net amount of 23 million for this PCA account, correct? Contract, correct? Yes.
In the budget, you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't. Emily, do you know?
I'm actually not sure. That was a placeholder amount that was put in for the appropriations
Okay.
committee budget. So
I believe it came from DSS, so I just want to make sure that tomorrow we get that on the record so that everybody knows exactly who set the stage for the amount that's in the budget. Because I'd heard a variety of different people being accommodating that, and I want to make sure that we congratulate OPM for their on target. So good to see you all. Thank you. Bye guys. Thank you.